In today's video, we're going to be heading off to the Thumbs Up Photography meet at Tarn House in the Lake District. We're going to be facing some very flat light that we're going to have to deal with. We'll get some reflections, we'll visit a murder house, and we'll see Paul Baker, Steve Stain, Colin Powell, and Martin Hajowicz. Yeah, he puts me right, don't worry. And of course, I'll get to meet some of the members of the Thumbs Up Photography group. Looking forward to this one.
Reprobates.
Not this one.
Well, I'm out with the Thumbs Up Photography guys this morning. Mr. Paul Baker. Look at that. Look at that hat. Hey? Very kind man, very kind man. Mr. Colin Powell.
Moaning.
Moaning. Now this is another leading member of the Thumbs Up Photography group, Mr. Martin Smith.
Go on, have a go at pronouncing it. Go on.
Hajowicz.
No.
Go on then, let me know.
Hajowicz.
Hajowicz.
Yeah.
Hajowicz, I'd never have got that. I never would have got that. You should check this guy's channel out because he does some phenomenal photography. Really good, really good. So we met Martin. This is the other leading member of the Thumbs Up Photography group.
Steve Stain.
I keep wanting to say 7.1.
Yeah.
You've got so many facets going.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Go and check this guy out as well. Well worth a shout. Well worth a shout. In fact, he's the Temu king as well now.
Steady on a bit, steady on. Not sure about that.
I've got to check out his magic arm. Don't ask me where he's going to put it.
Yeah.
But it's a bit of a flat day today, so we're picking out what we can. And thanks to Mr. Baker borrowing me his lens. I'm not sure that's correct English. Lending. There you are, I've been corrected. We got the first shot in the bag. Bit of a reflection shot. And I've taken Paul's advice and I've taken the wider shot as well. So, tell me, which one do you prefer?
So we're straight in with a bit of photography, and this is the shot that I took. Now, I did have the bright idea that I might be able to flip this upside down, and that clearly does not work. But I think we're going to bow down to Paul's superior knowledge here. He was definitely right. It was the wider shot that was the one to take.
Well, standard for me. Went off on my own, bumped into a few more people and started chatting, as you do. But I thought I'd take this detail shot here. I was chatting with Martin back there and he said he thinks it's going to be a detail day. I said, well, usually I've got to be desperate to do a detail shot. I'm doing a detail shot. But I really like this actually. This is really, really nice. So you've got these wonderful ferns that are yellow and gold and green, and then you've got these luminescent rocks and texture of the bark. And I think this just pops on a flat day. It's the sort of thing you want to look out for. Okay, time to bushwhack my way back out of here. I seem to have penned myself into a corner, so hopefully there's a route up there. Well, I've bushwhacked my way up onto the path. And I think that's Steve and Colin down there. Looks like they're going for some reflection shots. I think I will end up taking some reflection shots. I just want it slightly brighter. So I'm hoping, even though the sky looks like that, just that higher sun behind it will just brighten things up a touch. You're not going to get direct light, but just enough to make the colours that little bit more vibrant. As long as the wind doesn't pick up, then that should be okay. So I'm going to wander around now, I think, and just see if I can find small things to photograph. Small trees, maybe another detail shot. Well, I've come across this little island with a fir tree on it down there. Don't get me wrong, it's very prominent from the other side, but from this side, I actually like the island itself. So if I can get to a vantage point where the tree that's on the left there is not in the way, and I can isolate that tree against the background with no sky in it, that might work. Because I quite like the textures and the details in the island itself, not just the tree, even though the tree is quite a nice characterful shape. All right, let's bushwhack our way down there. Well, it clearly doesn't work from further down, and from the higher vantage points the trees do get in the way as well. But I was going to come across this way and get it, but it's already being taken by someone, so I don't really want to steal their composition. Let's see what we can see, hopefully something different. Right, well, I've come around to the other side of it, to be honest. I wanted to shoot that way, but the only angle you can really get is shooting this way. So two big problems for me. One, the sky's bland, as we know, but because you've got the mountains with the mist on it, it does give the impression that it's mist and not just white. You get the reflection here, which is great, but also I'm not getting separation from the island from the back of the island, so the ground that's behind it. I want to see a little bit of water if I can, but I can't. So I'm going to drop low on this, I think, and try and get some of those branches to break above the mountains, and that will then put the island so that it's not just kind of island, a tiny bit of space and then the background. It'll make it look like it's part of the background, I think. That's the plan. But the key point of that is to get some of those branches above the line of the mountains. Then I think I'm going to try and go for some higher ground and see if I can get some separation between the island and the ground in the background. Okay, so that's this one shot. I've done it at f6.3. I'm thinking that the shallower depth of field is going to help me with softening that background off and helping with the mist in the background as well. Right, let's see if we can get it from a higher perspective.
Well, I got as low as I could go with my centre column in, and unfortunately this little branch still breaks the horizon line of the mountain. But never mind, I still think this works. Tell me if you prefer it to the other shot.
Well, I keep looking back as I'm walking. I don't think I need to go back as far as I was anticipating. I reckon a good 30 yards is enough for what I want. There we go. So we're starting to get the tree drop below the mountain line, but it is darkening it down a touch. But I am getting the separation between the island and the background where the water is. I think we're not far off right here. Yeah. Touch higher. Into the bracken. And I think we're there. Trouble is, I've got to keep walking on this line so I keep the shot how I want it. If I move left or right, it's not going to balance out how I want it. I'm going to bring too many things in. I want to stand in the middle of that bracken, really. Don't work. I think I can't get the reflection in now. We'll give it a punt. Oh, that's not sheep poo. We'll give it a punt. I think I'm going to have to go back about another 10 feet. Colin's just bushwhacked away through the through the bushes here, and he's made a path for me, so I can get 10 feet back now. Right, well, we've backed up about 10 feet. It's given me a touch more separation. Can I zoom in? I just about get it in. Just about get it in. I've got one little twig in the bottom left corner I've got to clone out. Other than that, that has actually worked, I think. So, I'm going to whop the tree on the thirds. So it's not just dead centre. Go for a nice shallow depth of field. I'll focus just in front of it. And hopefully that will help to soften out the background. And there we go, it looks nice and sharp. I'm going to call this shot the Colin Powell shot because he bushwhacked his way into this so they clear a space for me. He deserves the recognition. Right, let's move on to the next one. Well, we've walked off to the back of the Tarn, and the colour around here is amazing. Look at it, it's so vibrant, so vibrant. But there's a tree there that's got, well, it's like bioluminescent moss. You know when you see in the water at night, they shine a torch in and you get all this algae that glows. Well, that tree's a bit like that. So I'm going to have a go at photographing it. There is some foreground interest of logs here, but I think I'm going to be ending up shooting too wide. The distance I want to be from it, the logs are here, trees right over there. I'm definitely going to be shooting too wide. I'm going to have all this sky in it. But I think I may have an angle to get a half decent shot on that. Let's give it a go. Okay, right. I really like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw you in camera and tell you what my issues are with it. But I love this angle on this tree. This is perfect. Absolutely perfect angle. But I've got some issues. I've always got issues. So let me switch this into video mode. So looking at it, you can see the tree as I've currently got it. Now, that's the structure I like of the tree. I love the way that the branch is coming down from the top left. Obviously, this is a 16:9 view, so what I see in the full frame is actually wider. But I love the way the branch is coming down from the left and sweeping down, and the trunk is effectively on the third with a nice little arc to it. But you've also got two trees in the background. So one on the right, and then one on the very left of the frame. If I zoom out, that's how I, but there's a tree on the right hand side that's just encroaching in, so I can't quite get the angle I want, but I think I'm going to need to get closer. I really want to bring the tree on the left into play, and I want to get a little bit more separation for the tree on the right. if I can, from the main character. It means I'm going to have to get closer, but I'm going to be shooting more up towards the sky that way. But the colours are phenomenal. This lovely orange and this bioluminescent green really does pop. Right, let's get down there and try it from a closer perspective. Yeah, in fairness, no, it's not really working, to be honest. I'm going to move on to something else. Well, I'm not saying this lot are dodgy, but they brought me to a murder house. Yeah. So I'm going to bury this camera somewhere. If you find it in 20 years' time, it was Steve Stain, Martin Smith, Colin Powell. Sorry, I can't remember your name, sir. Don't bother. And he's not going to get caught.
He did it.
Well, there is no evidence to say that this is actually a murder house. It's just a derelict building in the middle of the woods. But I didn't want to disturb my fellow photographers with vlogging as we caught up together. So I grabbed this sneaky shot, and then I got a nice little reflection shot as well.
Well, thankfully I've made it away from the murder house intact. It's knocking on in the day now. We've been going for quite a while. It's coming up for about 11 o'clock, I think. So I'm going to see if I can find one last image before I end this vlog. I seem to be spending more of my day chatting than anything else, to be quite honest. But it's been a very enjoyable day. So let's grab one more. What's the odds it's a reflection shot? Okay, so it's a reflection shot. Now this is one of those spots you walk past it and you think, well, that colour's nice, and then you analyse it a little bit more and you think, well, what is it that's attracting me to this? And there's kind of another shape in there, and then there's a little gnarly thing in there, and it's all popping because of these different colours, and of course it's reflected in this nice still lake. Weirdly, I don't think I'd have spotted this if I hadn't have come off on my own. I'd have walked straight past it. It's one of those things that you look at it and pass it by, and then you go, hang on a minute, pop back. All right, so let me show you what we're trying to shoot. Right, so I've been drawn to this scene mainly because of a fallen tree, I'll be quite honest. So it kind of, you've got this nice rectangular shape of vertical pines and then a great big fallen pine that's from the top left to the bottom right. But interspersed in all that is all this vibrant colour, this lovely green, this kind of jade green. And then you've got a load of autumnal colour. You've got one section on the left and one section on the right. And it's reflected, obviously, into the lake. So you get that nice triangular reflection of the fallen tree. It's the symmetry. That's what I like about the shot. It's the symmetry. So I'm probably going to take this in a landscape, and then I'm going to take it in a portrait. It may even end up being a square crop. That's post-production choices, that one. It's definitely going to be for the landscape. It's going to be slightly taken in, probably a 4x3, something like that. Well, now I've sold it. Let's see if it works. Well, there we go, that's that one taken. I think we're going to have to head off and find the rest of the group. Can't be a Billy no mates all day long. I haven't seen Mr. Paul Baker for a while, so go and catch up with him. But I have taken a little close-up as well within that scene that I just shot. Show you that. Yeah, I'm not quite sure on that, but I think that's just more of a splash of colour shot. I was really attracted to the gnarly tree that was in it as well, so I thought I'd zoom in and hone in on that section. And let's go and catch up with the guys and girls. Come on! I'm coming. Make that a no? Well, Martin was about... I keep calling you Martin. Colin was about to take me off to a shady little nook and I was getting all excited, but unfortunately it's a no. Well, that's it. That's me done. Unfortunately, Mr. Baker has disappeared. So, Paul, it was good to see you this morning. I was hoping to grab a chat with you. I didn't realise you had to shoot off so quick. But it's been wonderful going around with these guys. It's nice to actually meet up with some other photographers. I highly recommend it. So check out the Thumbs Up Photography group. I'm sure I've recommended them before. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the images, and I'll catch you in the next one.